Okie dokie, let's go and jump some ranked games with a random character and see what we're going to get today. So it looks like we're playing the Ranger. We do start off with the flutes, which is not so great, along with our fighting basket, so we're going to get a bunch of cells. So we really want to start off by grabbing a little shard bow. Let's go and craft you up into a tusk poker. Piggy bank for some extra monies. I do like shiny shells for that bit of a heal. Stone, we can always sell back for the same price, so might as well buy it. Now, do we want to keep the flute? Is it really that great? Because it can give us 40 block, which is our best outcome. 2 stamina, 1 weapon is not great. And 2 luck to increase our accuracy is kind of nice. So do we want to keep her? Do we want to sell it? Because we could take a broom, we could take the banana. We do need an extra weapon. And the reason to sell this is to just grab healing herbs, which is a nature item and regen, which is exactly what we want for our Vinu basket. Which I'm going to reserve our banana. And I'm going to waste 1 more gold run to try and get some sales. And you know what? I'm going to take all of these items. But I'm going to keep the flute. As bad as that is, I want to keep it. We're going to grab a hero sword. We're going to grab a banana. And we're going to see if we're going to be able to win this first round. Now, we are facing a mage who is going to be stacking up max life with the magic for dummies if they do manage to get mana from their wand. Lucky for us, they managed to get luck, and I'm hoping to get regen next. They did get mana, but it's too late for them. Hell yeah. Also, yeah, this bag is definitely the wrong way around. So we got pretty lucky facing out opponents. For sure. Now let's grab our storage. Let's grab our wooden sword. Let's go and grab our whetstone. Let's also grab this banana. Now I did kind of want our setup to be something like this for our flutes. Potentially with triple weapons. I think it could be kind of awesome. One of the reasons why I did want to keep it. But I'm going to be way too greedy and I want to add in our piggy bank. And I'm going to waste 1 more gold rolling. That's a set of blueberries on sale, which I'm going to take along with the stone. I was hoping to find some extra storage, but it is what it is. So let's go and see if this is going to be good enough for round 2. We are facing a shell totem with Amethyst Wells. We did manage to take their power with our little chipped amethyst, which is crazy good for us. They did manage to get it back though with their shell totem, so can we keep up? We did manage to get some block from our flute, which is kind of nice. But is it going to be enough to win out? Maybe. Because it's not looking too bad. Our opponent is not looking too great. We did manage to take all our power, and hell yeah. Actually, we got insanely lucky. Now, since we got a hero sword, we kind of want to move our weapons around just a little bit more. We could take knife to meet you, or we could go crazy with a spicy banana. We can go turnburst for a little bit of spike stacking with stun our opponents. But I'm going to take spicy banana. Mainly because it's going to give us our healing for how much stamina we're going to use. Since we're going to have flutes, we're going to potentially get some stamina back, which I'm definitely going to be down for. So I'm going to take a little bit more storage, and I'd love to grab another freaking piggy bank. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, and I'm going to roll once, and oh, we didn't hit our storage, which means I kind of want to put our piggy banks in like so. Not ideal, but it's going to have to do. I will be taking a set of healing herbs. And, you know, I'm just going to save for 1 gold. So I'm going to move on with this. It's not the most ideal outcome that we can get. But it really is going to have to do. Well, at least we're going to heal up using our spicy banana. We'll use up a little bit less stamina with hero sword. So it shouldn't be all that bad. So we're looking to have our flute. It give us stamina, give us block, even give us luck guaranteeing that we're going to hit our opponents. It's still going to be pretty decent. So we're trying to make as much use as this flute as possible. And smashing. Anyone is smashing. Now we could take Artifact Stone down, which will inflict fatigue, but it will give us crits based on how much fatigue our opponent is actually going to be taking. Much better on the Reaper for sure, but we can still get crits on other classes. A little bit easier with this. Now I'm going to take a fanny pack. I'm not going to take the Artifact Stone down. It will be interesting, but let's not take it. That's another piggy bank that we could go for Falcon Blade. I think we're going to go for it. Bag of stones. With an extra stone, we could take 2 to try and go for Stone Golem, potentially, awesomely. Maybe. To go for Stone Golem definitely will be awesome in our build too. I'm going to have to take it. I'm going to roll once more. That's a Samsung, which, yeah, I'm going to reserve and take. But we got to move on. I'm not going to place in our stones, which might be a bit of a misplay, but I think we're going to be in a pretty decent spot. By having our piggy bank saying that we're being way too greedy, we should be able to get tons of heals. And if we recover stamina with our flutes, we should be able to heal up with our spicy banana. If we get block, we get our defenses. And if we get luck, we get accuracy. So overall, not too bad. And that is a spear. We could upgrade from the broom, but we could also go crit with staff, stone golem, which I do like quite a bit as well. We could also take a second banana if we want that. I'm wasting a lot of gold rolling, but I really want to find our pair of gloves, so I'm thinking about rolling constantly right now. We could also take cards. If we do stack up a lot of luck with our flutes, we could start getting power, which is kind of nice. But again, I'm going to roll looking for a pair of gloves. Another bag of stones. We could just take our storage, which, you know, I'm going to be down for. And that's crits. And our extra stone. But I think I'm going to move on. I'm not going to put in our gloves or starve courage because we want to be using up a little bit more stamina with our spicy banana. So we're going to take our stone. We're going to take our collar. We've no real way to scale up our accuracy or crits except for flute. But that will pretty much make use of our whole flute. Because if we get luck, we scale up our crits. Again, if we get our stamina, we heal back up. And if we get block, we get defenses. But is it really going to be enough? Because our opponent does have a spear shovel with a Shelly. And we are running out of stamina thanks to the shield, which is not so great. We do get our block. We're pretty much full HP. And we got a guaranteed 100% accuracy. I say that as our opponent has inflicted 3 blinds. Not too bad. Let's grab our crits. Let's go ahead and grab you. And I think we sell our little starve courage to go ahead and grab this potion belt, which is not too fantastic. But the problem is, we really want our crits in this spot. Or we could do something a little bit different and have it this position. We could have it this way either. Put our stone in this way as well, or we can have it constantly this way, but then we don't get the damage on our broom, but then we lose a little bit of damage on our hero sword. So I think we're going to keep it this way. We are going to use up a lot more stamina with our broom, which honestly is fine, but not super ideal. But it's going to have to do. Let's move on with this. We'll see how we get on. With our fighting basket, we should be able to get a ton of healing efficiency, increasing the amount of heals we're going to get from our spicy banana, which is going to be kind of nice. But are we going to be able to keep up with this berserker who is rocking potentially that meta bag, meta board? We're going Shepherd's Crook, Claws Attack, Magic Torch. However, it's looking like we're actually beating them out. Hell yeah. Not too bad even. And we do have Excalibur right here. Do we pivot to an Excalibur type build? We could go Excalibur right now. We could just keep going for Falcon Blade, crit with staff into a Stone Golem option. It all depends on this. If this is an Amethyst Feasting, I'll pivot. It's an Amethyst Steel, so we're going to keep what we have right now. Definitely so. Now, we got some options. Holy Armor we could take to craft up a White Lily's Collar, which will stack up our crits, which is actually pretty nice. But we won't be able to craft up a crit with staff if we do that. And I really want to go for crit with staff. But should we go for it anyway? I think I'm going to pivot into it. Now, it does mean we're going to have to take out our flutes, which is a little bit unfortunate. But I also want our Lucky Clover, and I also want to grab this fanny bag. So yeah, I'm going to definitely craft up a White Lily's Collar. So we can stack up an insane amount of regen. We can stack up an insane amount of crits. Now, unfortunately, our crits is going to be on our stone, not on our little tusk poker. But we'll see how we get on. We are facing a Falcon Blade with some ones, with some max life stacking with the Magic for Dummies. And we are running out of stamina since they do have shielded, which is pretty bad for us. Because it does remove our stamina and it doesn't allow us to use our spicy banana to keep us super healthy. Our opponent is eventually going to start stacking up in power, which does increase our weapon damage. And yeah, this is not going to be close whatsoever. Our opponent is literally just going to outpace us. So unfortunately, I did skip it up a little bit because they were going to start going nuts. Now, with our White Lily's Collar, I actually really want to go Piercing Arrow. I do have a bit of a build idea with it. Now, we could also go potentially Aegis's Leaf to get a bunch of mana if we want to go crit with staff, but we kind of lost our option to go crit with staff. So I'm going to take our Piercing Arrow, and it's literally that mana orb on sale as well. Well, let's take our fanny bag. Let's take our fanny bag and let's sort our inventory out. So I'll be back in a second while I do that. Well, to be honest, we're going to grab our gloves. We're going to grab our gloves. We're going to grab the mana orb. I'm not sure if we're going to go for a magic staff anymore. We might even go for a moon armor, which I'm kind of down for. I'm going to keep rolling. We also need this fanny pack. And I'm going to sell the broom just to continue rolling. Now, card 2 Skeleton Power is exactly what we want. But for this round, we're going to move on with this. We should be able to stack up an insane amount. We should be able to skill up an insane amount of luck and regen in this position, which is going to be awesome. We definitely want our card 2 Skeleton Power. We definitely want our Falcon ability to trigger everything a little bit faster. And we'll see how we get on. With our piercing arrow also scaling up our luck, we should be in a pretty good spot to scale up our crits insanely fast. But is it really going to be enough to win out? Maybe. Because it's still only a hero sword with a tusk poker. So our DPS is not going to be that great. What is going to be great is the amount of regen and luck we're going to get. Now, if you had the Mega Clover win con, the Mega Clover, we could have actually pretty much hit our Mega Clover. So that was another specific subclass we could have actually went for. But can we beat this Ranger? It's looking a bit dicey. They're dealing some big damage. We did get a big old heal. And awesome. Once we get our Falcon Blade, we're going to be triggering everything a little bit faster. And we got our Moon Armor. Let's take our carrot. Let's take our blueberries. Let's take this fanny pack. Let's roll again. And should we take another flute? Funnily enough, how about we just take a bunch of flutes? We go crazy. We're going to roll again. You on sale is straight up crazy nuts. I'm going to have to grab you because you're going to be straight up just having a ton of scaling damage. And we might want to get rid of our little tusk poker overall. Also, I did flip this around so we have crit damage on our little tiny weapon, which makes a lot more sense. But we should be able to get a lot of power with the amount of block we're going to have with our Moon Armor. We should have tons and tons of regen. The activator Stone Golem once we do activate it. And we should have 28% crits, which is not as much as I thought it was going to be. But with our flutes, we do start scaling up a little bit more block. We keep our stamina up. And we get even more luck scaling. So actually kind of incredible. Now we do have a choice to make. Do we want to take Mana Mastery? Do we want to take Fortuna's Kiss to stack up random buffs? Or do we want to take Full Body Protection for 30% more armor on all our flutes? Well, all we need to find is a helmet and boots, and we can get this online. Get us more defenses. Now you stacking up mana as well, it wouldn't be too bad to get a big mana buff bomb. But should we take Full Body Protection since you're on sale? I'm gonna take it. That's another Mana Orb, which I kind of do want to take. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna take it. We're gonna roll again. That's another flute. I'm taking all the flutes today. That's gonna take another fanny pack though. So I'm gonna start a little tusk poker so we can grab this too. Do start healing just a small bit. I think we're just gonna continue to roll. I really want to sell a stone to go ahead and grab a fanny pack. I think we sell a piggy bank to grab a little bit more storage because we're kind of lacking on a little bit of storage. And I was kind of thinking about setting up our flute situation to be right beside our Falcon Blade to get this going as fast as possible. But then again, we can also just have a bunch of blueberries. We can also move our Mana Orb in the most ideal spot. It's not going to be great for White Lily Scholar, but for mana generation, that's going to be nuts. Then in terms of flute, we can actually have it in this spot, which is going to be kind of nice. And we will have to lose one set of blueberries to have our Amethyst Steel in this spot. But this should actually be pretty decent. We should be able to stack up enough mana. Mana Mastery would have been way better than a Full Body Protection, by the way. I still wanted to take this and have some craziness with it. It's going to give us 30% more block, which is quite significant on our Moon Armor. It's going to be quite significant on our flutes. And it helps us stack up our power. Now with our Fancy Fencing Rapier, we're going to be using up a lot of luck. But it's going to have a lot of scaling damage and smashing. Definitely smashing. Now we'll be grabbing another card. Let's roll again. That's our Stone Golem. That's our Stone Golem. Let's go ahead and grab a bit of storage. And I'm going to put a card in here so it gets a little bit faster activations on our Piercing Arrow. And we can also grab a Stone Skimpa, which hell yeah, I'm going to be down for. Once we get our Stone Armor, or once we get our Stone Golem, we should be able to activate it along with our White Lily Scholar, giving us even more block, even more power, so it should be amazing. Definitely going to be amazing overall. We got tons of block, we got tons of damage, we got lots of power, and we got crazy flutes, which is kind of funny. And smashing, 86 crit, hell yeah. We actually managed to survive with a 57 DPS. Our opponent did manage to get about 43 DPS in terms of heals. We got a whopping 13 heal per second, but in terms of block, 256 block. Now we got 7 rounds to go. We can take our 5 points, but let's see if we can actually make this crazier. Because we're literally about to get a Stone Golem. We can also grab our gloves to make this the fastest Fancy Fencing Rapier alive, which wouldn't be too bad. But I'm going to keep rolling. We can also just start off with 2 extra regen. We do want a bag of stones though to increase the damage on our Stone Golem just a little bit more. So for this round, I'm just going to take our extra bits of regen. Piggy bank is going to have to come out this round. Not ideal. It is what it is. Let's move on. Let's grab our bag of stones in the next round. Let's get our stone golem online. Let's have it do a lot of damage. And let's see how we get on. Now we definitely need a bunch more acorn collars. We get even more crit damage. And we'll see how we get on because our opponent is dealing a lot of damage to us. And unfortunately we do end up falling short. It is what it is. We're about to get our stone golem, which is going to be even more amazing. And we could just straight up grab ourselves an armor. I mean a shield. Do we want a moon shield? Moon shield, moon armor, we get a ton of block. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it along with our storage, and I'll be back in a second while I sort the inventory once again. So I was thinking about moving on with this for now. Not the most ideal, but we should be able to get a ton of empower with our setup. We should be able to get lots of block. Once you get our moon armor in, we should potentially be able to activate a big mana buff bomb. So again, let's see how this actually pans out. Once we get a big mana buff bomb, we're going to get tons and tons of buffs. And we should be able to get a ton of damage on our Fancy Fencing Rapier. We got tons of block, we got our stone golem online. We should be able to scale up insane amounts of power. And just be able to win out. Our opponent does resurrect, giving him quite a bit of time just to beat us out, unfortunately. So it's looking like we should have took our points and ran. But how about we take double Fancy Fencing Rapier? Let's just take our bag of stones. Let's roll again. Let's go ahead and take this 20 pack, speeding up our stone golem, which I'm thinking about placing into this position down below. Let's take another set of blueberries, and I'd love to add a bunch of damage to our moon armor. Now we could take the glowing crown, which again is going to be our helmet. We do need to take our boots, and right now I do want to craft up this stone helmet. However, I'm not going to take this. I'm going to sell our piggy bank just to keep rolling. And I'm going to keep rolling again. That's our crits, that's our helmet, that's our little bit of storage. And with that, I'm going to have to move on in this position. Now I did place our flutes in this spot to try and get a bunch more mana from our moon shields, which is going to be really, really nice. We get a little bit more block. And we should be able to get lots of power if it does end up giving us block. But if it scales up our luck, it scales up our damage, and we should be in a pretty good spot to win out. Are we going to lose 3 rounds in a row, or are we going to win this one out? Because it kind of looks like we're going to win this one out, and hell yeah. Definitely, definitely so. We've got our stone shoes, let's take our helmet. Let's go ahead and take you 2, and let's sell our shiny shells so we can grab this bit of storage. Now the problem I am having is we want crits on both our weapons, which means one flute is going to have to come out. So we can slightly move you up, and we can have this back in like so. Increase in damage on our stone golem. We got our full body protection online, which is going to be amazing. We really do want another unidentified amulet, but let's move on. Now we might even want to craft up a red collar, but we don't stack up vampirism, so it's not going to be too great for us. But we have tons of mana, we have tons of power, we just need our luck to scale up our damage on our Fancy Fencing Rapier to deal massive damage. And it's not looking too close, hell yeah. Only got 3 more rounds to go. We can't grab any more boots. We can grab a shield if we want it. Let's go ahead and grab you. Amulet of Alchemy is possibly the worst buff we could have got. Just looking at some other options, maybe fanfare, not exactly either. Don't really want another fanny pack, but I'm going to take it as I continue to roll. Let's go and sell you because we're definitely going to take a freaking mana orb, and I'm just contemplating on whether we grab a blue sage's collar. We're already stacking up enough mana. I don't think we really do need to for that. I'd love to position it in this spot. But the problem with that is it messes up our amethyst steel because we can't place it in here. It has to stay in this spot. Get our flutes. Shouldn't be too bad in this spot either. Then we could also place it in here, which might be a little bit better for us. I'm thinking so. Because we want to trigger on a Falcon Blade along with our card because it is going to be a fast activator. Along with our flutes and our banana. And we could take another heart container, which we could transform into max life if we do want it, but how about we just keep rolling? And that is that color if we do want it, that red color. We also need this bit of storage. I also want to add as much luck or as much magic items around our moon shields to get that insane amount of block. But I think we have to move on. We should be able to get a big mana buff bomb with our moon shields, especially once we activate our stone golem, which shouldn't take too long. Because it doesn't take us too long to stack up our luck with our freaking White Lily's collar. I couldn't speak there for a second. We got our big mana buff bomb, we got tons of power, we got even more luck, we got big gold crits. and amazing. Definitely amazing. We could have also went for a second White Lily's collar. That'd also be pretty darn good. Let's take a little bit of storage so we can add our blueberries back in. This 2 bags is really, really bad for a White Lily's collar. We could also just straight up go and practice large greatsword along with the Fancy Fencing Rapier. They deal massive damage as well. It's not a bad show. But our storage is pretty full, so I don't know if we're going to be able to take it. Stamina sack though, hell yeah, I'm going to gladly take it. Is there anything else we can really use? I'm just going to keep rolling. Just grabbing a wonky snowman to stop our opponent from stacking up max life. I think is going to be worth it. It's only 30% more max life for 8 goals. But if our opponent did have any ways to scale up max life, this would be pretty nice. It's a lot of strong vampiric pods, which is going to be kind of scary. That's for sure, because they're going to get insane amounts of vampirism. They're going to be dealing lots of damage. But they are tricky to actually activate. We beat them down before they could actually activate. Now it is our final round. Is there any specific items we could take? Is there any better position we can have? I mean, if we have our stone golem the opposite way, we actually get crits on her. But then we lose out on our mana generation, so we kind of need it in this spot. Or what we could do is place it in this spot. But then we lose a lot of power with our Amber Steel, but we get crits on our stone golem. Let's take our Fanny back. We can't take you. Let's go and grab this. Come on, Amber Steel. Okay, we hit the jackpot. We literally hit the jackpot. That's going to be insane value for us. Is there anything else we want? Divine Pot could be kind of nice. We're not going to take it though. Stamina sack we could take to replace some of our bags. You're not going to be any help. And I don't really want any of these items, so let's just keep rolling. Prismatic Orb, Prismatic Sword could have been nice too. Since we stack up so much magic items, we could have had it going super fast. And I want to figure out how we're going to fit the double Arms of Steel in. Now I figured out a way that we can get damage on our stone golem but still getting our block. We will lose out on our flute in this position with you as well. We can't really place you in. Well, we could do something like this actually, and then we could place it in like so, which is actually not bad. Surprisingly works out kind of nicely. As for you then, we wouldn't mind targeting our stone golem, but that's about all we're going to get from it. But our White Lily's collar is going to be really, really badly positioned since we're going to have our stone golem in this spot. But we should be able to get lots of power. We should definitely be able to get lots of power. Now, I'd love to potentially place this in or right in this spot, because it's going to get a lot of block. So is there any other position we can do with our boots? Actually, what we could do is place it in this spot. That's way more ideal. And we don't get that 30% increased block on our stone golem, but I still think that's going to be pretty decent in this spot. We don't get both our arms stacked on top of each other. We should be able to get a ton of block from all this. Potentially, hopefully, we'll see. Let's roll one more time. And a stone helmet would have went a long way as well. If we had one more round, I would definitely grab it and craft it up. But this is it. This is going to be our final builds. Let's go and see if it's going to be... Let's actually sell you. Just roll once. Do we actually want... We probably want our set of blueberries in instead. We probably want our set of blueberries in instead of our bit of luck. Just because once we do stack up more than 10 mana, it's just going to be constant luck stacking for Fancy Fencing Rapier. Now, is it going to be good enough to take on this Hammer, Dagger, Berserker? Because they also got that full body protection, but so do we. We also got a shield to block all their little daggers. Going to be inflicting lots of debuffs. And can we still win out? The Fancy Fencing Rapier is going to have a rapid scaling. And I don't think it's going to be close whatsoever. We're after dealing almost half their HP. Over half their HP right now. And smashing. That extra Amber Steel was crazy insane. So we actually ended up with about a 74 DPS, which is not bad. Fancy Fencing Rapier doing the vast majority of it. With Stone Golem, and Falcon Blade not doing as much as I thought it was going to be doing. And in terms of our opponent's DPS, they managed to get 24 DPS because, yeah, we straight up blocked an insane amount with a full body protection, giving their daggers very, very little damage. On top of our shields, with full body protection being nuts. I love to add in shielded with this combo because our opponents will literally be doing no damage. Then add a katana into, you become the ultimate tank. Now in terms of heals, we managed to get about 64 health actually gains with 8 per second. All coming from that spicy banana, which is not great. In terms of block though, we managed to get about 65 block per second, 510 block from our Stone Golem, Moon Armor, Amethyst Steel, and our flutes. Now in terms of luck generation, We managed to generate up 31 luck, being our White Lady's Collar, Piercing Arrow, Fancy Fencing Rapier, Mana Orb, and our flutes to give us. Yeah, not a whole lot. So what are the flutes actually worth it? Honestly, did surprisingly well. Maybe not the best item in the game, but certainly a fun one in this type of build. We did survive with 3 lives left. Let's go and see just how much rank points we managed to get. Plus 11 rank us up to 92. But I'm going to leave you here for now. Just want to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even consider subscribing. And I hope to keep looking for the next one. I'll see you next time. Okay, we're back in some round 18 fights, and we're going to see how our build actually compares to other round 18 fights. We are facing a Reaper with insane amounts of lifesteal, but can we beat him down? It's kind of looking like so, hell yeah. Now, can we deal with a Crossblades Dragons, Obsidian Dragons with a Fancy Fencing Rapier type build? I mean, full body protection just destroys dragons, by the way, since they're both ranged and effect damage. And can we deal with this Ranger build who is going to have lots of damage with their bone arrows? They got their big Meg Clover Wind Con, give them a bunch of buffs, but I don't think it's going to be close whatsoever. Hell yeah.